Hey guys, Kristen over here on my vlog camera. So if you're just listening to audio, that's why this sounds not so great. But as I was editing this, I realized that my mic in the center kept cutting out, more so like kind of towards the end pretty badly. But we didn't want to scrap the entire episode, so please bear with us while we kind of work through these technical difficulties and figure out what's going on with the mic. So if you hear that in this episode, sorry about it. We're gonna work on figuring that one out, and it's gonna annoy you because it annoyed me while I was editing it, but let's pretend it didn't happen. Thanks.
Say you listen, but you're missing what it's all about. Rise up now. If you never fall, you don't change at all. Cry.
Welcome to another episode of Yeah, No, I Know. But before we get started, a little disclaimer. Nothing in this podcast is being claimed as fact. Most everything discussed here are our own individual, personal opinions, beliefs, and experiences. We encourage you to always do your own research and form your own opinions. Nothing one person says on this podcast goes for everyone here. Each individual speaking is speaking only for themselves and no one else on the podcast. Now that that's out of the way, let's get started.
Welcome back. Yeah, no, I know. And I don't know what episode this is, but we are talking about getting older and things that we wish we knew when we were younger. We're all in our 30s right now. So, Brooklyn, you're 30.
30.
Kristen's 33. And I am 39. And I was just kind of like thinking and listening to a lot of clients and thought this would be something really cool to reflect on, things that we wish we knew, and also maybe like if you guys are older than us, things that you would tell us, because
In our 30s.
in our 30s, soon to be 40s,
Yeah,
like
give us
what am I
all the
supposed to
wisdom.
expect in my 40s? Because I don't have any friends that are older. So here we go.
Okay.
I don't know how we want to start. We asked some questions online.
We do. We have some good answers. And
I know where we can start.
I'm buzzing in my fanny pack. Sorry, excuse me. Kristen made me put something.
I was like, do you even have anything in your fanny pack? And
So,
she looks at me and
If
she's
you're
like,
not watching on YouTube, I've been told that fanny packs are in, so I'm wearing a fanny pack that a friend gave me. And
Said
yes,
friend.
and I put my phone in my fanny pack with all my answers on there, and it's vibrating. Anyways, okay.
Before
so
you get into that, though, I have to ask, since we're at such different stages, you're 30, you're 39.
yes.
Are your 30s what you thought they would be? Because for me, I remember thinking 30 was so old, right?
Yes.
But
Oh my gosh,
I'm
yes.
33 and it's not at all. So I'd like to ask each of you, are your 30s, like did you think it was going to be like? What is it feeling like? And how was your 30s?
Well, I think it's hard for me to really speak to that because I'm just 30.
A newborn 30.
Yeah, I'm a
Right.
newborn. Well, kind of. I mean, in May, I'll be 31. So, but I know everyone says that like 30s are the new 20s, that you just have it all kind of a little bit more figured out. You're more self-aware in who you are. And I'm digging it so far. I mean, I had a kid this year, the year that I turned 30, So, I mean, I'm married. We moved into a bigger place. I've got a good career. And
Came and worked with me.
yeah.
Started
Were you
a
afraid to turn
podcast.
30?
No.
Like, was it this big crazy number? Because I feel like it is for a lot of people. Like, oh my gosh, I'm turning 30. Like, I see people on Instagram. I'm like, fuck you, I'm 33. Like,
Yeah.
you're a child.
I don't know. I think I was excited to embrace a new chapter, a new decade. Everyone knows I love my birthday. So I was like, it's a big birthday. And it was funny. My mom's like, 30 is a big birthday? I'm like, yeah, Mom, it is. Like, yeah, that's
All
what
of
I
the
said.
zeros are a big
Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah, I
It's
agree.
21, 30, 40.
Yeah.
50 is a huge one.
Yeah.
60 is a huge one.
Yeah, I remember on my 21st birthday being like, great, now all I have to look forward to is like 30. Like 9 more years until the big
Or
birthday.
25, you can rent cars at that point.
There you go.
So-
Or book a cruise by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to
But
be
anyways,
25?
I think so. At least back in the day you did. I don't know.
love cruises.
Me too.
Oh, I
That's
hate
one.
cruises.
So-
I think we talked
I know we
about
did talk about this.
We did. So
Yeah.
we like repeat ourselves sometimes. But yeah, so
okay.
I'm kind of like, I'm like in my 30s so far. I wasn't really dreading it. I was excited. I think my only thing was like, I just had so many big plans for my 30th, and it was still a great birthday. I just didn't get to do what I wanted to.
Because you were pregnant.
I can't, yeah, because I was pregnant. I can't complain. We were in Cancun, so. But what do you think, Jenna? Has it been?
Yeah, well, aside from having my babies in my 20s sucked. Like, sucked. Like, I had a little glippet, you know, like glippet, I don't even know if that's a word. But where I was in the band and that was super fun. But other than that, it was horrific. So it couldn't get any worse. Well, I guess it could have, and I'd always heard that your 30s were like the best years of your life. So I was actually a little bit excited for my 30s. And I've kind of always hung out with people that were younger than me. So I always felt older anyway. So it was kind of like, oh, well, of course I'm going to be the old person, the 30-year-old. And it has been the best decade of my life. Like my 3 decades. It's the best of the 3. Yeah, I mean, I started my own business. I started another business. I got married to Ken. We created our own little family. Like, I feel like I'm starting to be very comfortable with who I am and embracing who I am and being okay with that, the good and the bad. Not settling for the bad, but like trying to figure out how to learn to, you know, be better and grow, and still like trying to figure it all out. Like, I don't feel like I have it all figured out yet, but
Like, will we ever really?
I mean,
I think so.
by that
Yeah.
I mean like figuring myself out. What I'm
Gotcha.
trying to,
Yeah.
I guess what I am figuring out is that we are constantly evolving and growing.
To say, you're always changing those. Once
Right.
you figure it out, it's like
exactly. Like I used to always just be like sometimes I'd ask Ken, I'm like, am I the good guy or the bad guy? Like, am I evil or am I good? Like, what? I've got like these conflicting things all the time, and I'm like questioning like, who am I? What am I? Like, you know, and then you hear other people's opinions of yourself, and I guess I'm just starting to realize that we are all everything. And
I was gonna
nothing
say.
to everyone and to no one, right?
Yeah.
So like it depends on who you talk to, and so yeah, a lot of growth, a lot of growth in my 30s. But I still feel like I'm in my 20s.
Yeah. So I was gonna say, I feel like we all have a little bit of the good and the bad in us, right? And it
Yes.
comes to what lens or whose eyes are you looking through? What perspective? You
Yeah.
know?
Well, I get where the people say now, like, oh, it doesn't matter how old you get, you still feel like you're young. And it's so true. It's so weird. Like, I'm going to be 40, but I feel like I dress and I act and I speak like I'm in high school still sometimes. Like, I see my daughter's like clothes. I'm like, ooh, that's cute. And I was like, wait, no, you're the mom. Like, so I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting.
how do you feel about leaving your 30s?
I'm really sad actually, because
Yeah.
it was so great. Like, I don't want to leave. Don't
can
kick me out.
Don't kick me out.
You can stay.
You can
I'm
identify as a 30-year-old.
I identify as a 30-year-old. I will be probably 39 forever. I just I mean, I guess seeing people like J-Lo and like
Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston, yeah. I mean, I get it, but I feel like, you know, because we're very much like, oh, we look so young for our age and we feel young and this and that. But I feel like that's because of the internet and because of YouTube and because of like all these things that have like come out. I feel like the next generation is going to look even younger. And then the next generation is going to look even younger because I don't know about you guys, but in high school, like the cool thing was to like not take care of yourself, right? Like smoking, drinking, partying, like, you know, and this new wave, it's all aside from like the vapes, but it's very much like take care of yourself,
Smoothies,
meditate.
working out.
Yeah, like the cool girls go and get green drinks.
Yeah.
Like they're going to probably live forever. So,
Maybe.
I love it. Okay, so what about you being kind of mid-30s and
Oh, whoa. Mid 30s is 35.
Early 30s.
I
Okay,
just
but-
turned 33.
your early 30s.
Okay. I feel like, okay, I would say 31 to 33 is like early, and then 34, 35, 36 is mid,
Yeah.
and then 37 through 39.
yeah.
Okay, so you're still early on the verge.
Thank you.
But you just turned 33.
Yeah, I just turned 33 in December. That was a weird one for me because it was like, whoa, I'm like getting into my 30s now. You know, I'm not like
Yeah.
just 30. I don't know. I have just been like on the bump and grind from 16. So I kind of like, I thought I was going to be in a different place in my life right now. I thought I had it all planned out. I was going to be 28. I was going to have my first child by 28. I was going to be married by 28. and I was gonna probably have like 3 or 4 kids by now. And life did not work out that way at all. And it's funny because my parents were younger. My grandma right now had 5 kids already by my age.
Wow.
Yeah, I had 2.
I can't even imagine.
Actually, never mind. Like my plans got messed up way early. So I can
I thought I was going to have kids really young too. Like I remember saying like by like 26, 27, I wanted to have like all 3 or 4 of them like popped out and done.
Yeah.
And like be done with kids, like having kids before I was 30. Now I'm like having my first kid at 30.
Yeah. And you know what? That worked out better for me. Now that I'm pregnant, I wouldn't have wanted it to happen any earlier.
Right.
Honestly, like I was busy building my empire and like doing, and I'm still doing that. But
You're very established.
yeah, like I feel better. Like I have a lot of respect for people like you who have had kids when they were younger, because I can't even imagine trying to crush life the way that I wanted to and having a little one. Daycare is so expensive. Like I just have a lot of respect for people that raised children like younger, whether you had help from a husband or a boyfriend or not. Like that's hard. Like I'm still a child. How am I supposed to keep one alive for 18 years at least? So yeah, I'm kind of in this like, I kind of don't really think about age, but at the same time, like every now and then I'll be like, oh my gosh, what's double my age right now? I can't believe I'm half that, you know? And so I don't know. It's just kind of a weird time, but I think I might be freaking out a little bit closer to 40. I think I'd be like, I'm so used to being in my 30s. That's felt so comfortable for so long. And I'm, you know.
40's like a grown up. Like it's like
I feel like nowadays it's kind
adult.
of. I feel like nowadays it's kind of not. It's getting like older and older. Like,
Well, it can keep doing that as I age.
yeah.
Like I'm totally cool with that. But
It's just funny. You think that like people in their 30s or even late 20s are like have it so together, and like your parents when you're younger, you think they know everything, and like I'm still trying to figure it out.
I see. I feel like being in my 30s, that's like, holy crap, I'm adulting now. Like I have a child. Like now I'm really adulting. Like you know when you're adulting is like when you're not on your parents' insurance anymore, and then when they kick you off the family cell phone plan. You're like,
Oh yeah,
damn.
that happened to me at
Like,
26.
Then you're like fully
The health insurance, anyway. I've
know
paid
what
for
I
my own
think?
cell phone since I was like 16, but
Not me.
feel like
lucky.
you realize you're not adulting anymore when you don't feel accomplished for doing normal things. Like checking things off your list or paying, but like, you know, like you finish and you're like, oh, okay, like I did that. Like, wow, like I paid the bills, or I did this, or I did that. It's like, that's just part of your daily life now. Like, it's not even like a accomplishment. It's like, I don't even know. You know what I'm talking about?
I put
like,
all that stupid stuff on my to-do list specifically so I
check it
get
off.
to check it off.
Yes.
You know what's funny? Okay, so when you might feel the same way, but like, oh, I guess you didn't move out early necessarily, but I feel like when you move out early, and maybe this is just me, but like if you've moved out early, maybe you can relate to this. I feel like time stopped. Like when I left my house at 16, it's like time stopped. And even to this day, I'll be coming home late at night or something, and I'll be like, I don't have to check in with parents. I don't have to tell them where I'm going. Like, and I'll still have those thoughts like, oh my gosh, I can do whatever the hell I want right now. I can eat whatever I want for dinner. No one's
You
gonna...
still feel that way?
Yeah, like I'll have these random thoughts where I'm like, I'm just coming home and doing my own thing. And like tomorrow I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. And like, I just still have these like random like little moments where I just like flashbacked when I'm like 15 and like, I couldn't do anything. I didn't have a life. And like,
Yeah, that's gonna change when the baby's here.
Yes,
I was gonna say, I don't think I ever experienced that because I had a baby.
Yeah.
So like I didn't have to do that with my parents anymore, but I had to do it with my children.
Yeah.
And then I did feel that when I left my ex-husband.
Yeah.
I was like, somebody accidentally called me at like 3:00 in the morning. It wasn't even for me. It was like a wrong number. And I remember being like, because I thought I was gonna freak out. And I was like, oh, nobody's here to yell at me.
Yeah.
It's cool. Okay, everything's good.
I remember like the first time I went on like a big girl, like adult kind of trip. Like Andy and his friends, we had just met and wanted to go on a snowboarding trip. And so I went with them, and I remember being in the car thinking like, this is like my first like adult trip. Like I didn't have to ask my mom. I'm not telling her where I'm going or what I'm doing. I mean, I'm sure I told her, but I didn't have to.
Right.
Or like ask for permission. I paid for it, and like
You get to do whatever you want.
yeah, and I
was
was over 21. Like we're all like drinking,
Yeah.
having fun, like staying at an Airbnb. Like I was like, I felt so like adult. I remember feeling so cool. I was 23.
Oh my gosh. I think I like pushed the boundaries when I was younger.
Oh,
In what
I
way?
didn't. I was a good
Like
girl.
my parents went out of town and I took their Jeep without my license or insurance and drove to Big Bear with my friends.
I took my mom's stick in the middle of the night. Never drove a stick before. Drove it to a guy's house that I'd never met him offline. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I got a tattoo at 17. I would go out all the time and not tell my parents where I was going. Like,
Got
I would
arrested
lie.
twice before I was 21.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think, I don't know. I just always kind of felt like I could do what I wanted because I knew how to get myself out of it.
Well, I skipped school once.
Oh, I
Sorry.
did that every Friday.
I just feel like I needed to say something bad that I did so I could fit in with this crew.
That's funny.
But I actually went home and told my mom afterwards.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. They locked my kids' school. I think I already said this. They locked my kids' school because I went to school where my kids go to school or went to school, and the like front door to the thing, they like lock it now because me and this other kid would skip school all the time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
I threw a party one time when my mom was gone. I was 18.
rebel. You were 18.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 18.
I did that once.
I'm just trying to
my
sound
gosh.
badass, you guys.
I had my boyfriend once climb up my balcony and knock on my window at like 2 o'clock in the morning, it was like 4 o'clock in the morning to take me to breakfast, and the alarm went off.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
My parents came running upstairs. I'm like, I swear we didn't do anything.
Where are we gonna go? Denny's?
Yeah, I think so.
That's so cute.
That's so cute.
He was so cute then.
so funny. So these are all things that we
So let's talk about real quick advice for our younger selves in our 20s.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we're going to open up some of the things people sent in, but like we can all speak to that, right? Because, and all of ours will sound totally different, which is great because everyone listening's, if you're in your 20s, I mean, you're looking at totally different things. Some of you are probably moms. Some of you just got out of a relationship. I mean, there's just, everyone's in totally different spots in their life. So what would you say to yourself or anyone else like in their 20s, like words of advice or how life is going to change or what to enjoy in your 20s? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's different aspects of it. So,
For
like,
sure.
as a young mom, I would tell myself to just relax. Like, don't waste your time doing things that make other people happy or like to accept you. Like, you'll find those people eventually. Like I would try so hard to like go and do things with people that they wanted to do. And it was such a waste of my time. I did not have fun. I just wanted to be accepted so badly. And because I never like had like a best friend in high school. Like I had friends, but they always had other best friends, right? So like if my girlfriends wanted to go out or they wanted to do this, like I would just do it. But I had kids, you know, and I wasn't in the same place as everybody else. So it would always be like, oh, come on, like go out, you know. And I wish that I knew myself better to know that that wasn't for me and that I wasn't weird. It just wasn't who I was. Now in my 30s, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going out. It doesn't bother me now, you know?
Yeah.
As far as like guys,
Oh, that's a whole
yeah, I mean,
episode.
like, just don't do it. If you're questioning it or if you think you can change him, just don't do it. Don't waste your time. I mean,
and you're worth more than that.
yes. Those are probably the two biggest things. I wish that I would have focused on my career a little bit more and done things that I was a little bit nervous to do. Like MySpace was popular then, and I just remember always thinking like I wanted to do something like that, but I wasn't. I didn't have enough to offer. I wasn't cool enough, or I wasn't pretty enough, or I didn't have cool enough stories. Which God, I have so many stories. And just do it. Like if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least you know. Like I found the thing that I fear most is not trying things now. It's not trying them and wondering if they would have panned out for me.
For sure.
So just do it. Just do
Yeah.
it. You're never going to be ready, so just do it. Whatever it is that you want to do. Go to nursing school, go to cosmetology school, start a YouTube channel, like start a podcast, like just do it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. I couldn't have said it better myself.
I mean, that's why we're friends.
Obviously. How about you? 20s?
20s. I feel like I always just tried to play it safe. I was so cautious about stuff. Like, you guys have all these like fun, crazy stories. Like, I probably should have let loose a little bit more.
Went to Nashville all by yourself.
Yeah, that's
did.
pretty
Pretty cool.
ballsy.
That was fun. That it's funny you say that, because I think I loved that trip so much that the biggest thing that stuck in my mind is like, I wish I would have traveled more and
Yeah.
just spent the money.
Same.
Like, you'll never regret spending money on a vacation, on an experience. I wish I would have traveled with my girlfriends more, or even alone more, because I feel like now that I'm married and have a kid, it's not really realistic to like take my girlfriends and just go to Greece or go to Europe, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I wish I would have like just
You can like make that happen though,
Yeah, I
because
was
I,
gonna
still
say.
think that even if you have
We
kids,
can,
you gotta
but
do that.
Yeah, but I love traveling with my husband. So like, I wouldn't want to go somewhere and experience it without him. Like, I would want him to be
Well,
there.
you're gonna have to when we do the vacation destination courses. So
I'm not saying it wouldn't be fun. Like, I would, but I'd be
if-
missing him. I'd rather have my husband and my kid there to experience it with them. Like,
What if they came too, but we also came with ours and
Yeah.
we left them behind and kind of did
Yeah.
our own
oh
thing for
yeah,
part of the time.
yeah. No,
But
that
see,
sounds
I
great.
love my girl time. I love my girl
But that's
time.
I wish, and
do
maybe
too.
that's like, maybe there's some sort of like mom guilt, or just like, now I have my husband. I wish I would have just done more of that when I was younger and just
Yeah.
traveled. And there's places that my husband doesn't want to go to. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? And things he doesn't want to do
And
that
you
I
guys
wish
are
I would have
still
just.
kind of newer, right?
We've been married 3 years.
Yeah,
been together for
I feel
7.
like that's still new. Like I feel like once you've been married for a while, your son starts going to school or whatever, like then you'll start to be like, oh, okay, I can go out with my girls again, and you'll start to find that like enjoyment in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what sucks to kind of to that same note is like when Nick and I first started dating, I had a trip with my girlfriend Allie planned to go to Sri Lanka. And were we going? Where else
Where
were we
is
going?
Sri Lanka?
We're going to Bali. It's like over by Asia, I think. I'm geographically challenged, honestly.
too.
If I had a map, I couldn't even tell you. But Sri Lanka, and we were also talking about going to Iceland. And he like piggybacked on the trip. He's like, "Oh, I'll meet you guys there." And like then the pandemic happened, and we never got to go. And I'm bummed too, because I feel like the last 2 years I was planning on just traveling a ton of places with Nick
Before you.
and with friends, because I was single finally, and I finally had the money to like do what I wanted to do. And I so agree that you should spend money on experiences, because I wish I had had a better core group of friends in my 20s.
Yes.
I just had those shitty friends in Hollywood that I'd go drink with, that no one that I would ever actually call and talk to about anything or go on a trip. And I wish I had just made more memories. And I feel like the last 2 years has been robbed from me and everyone else. And now I'm pregnant and having a baby. And it's like, I've only been to Mexico in the past couple years. And I'm not complaining, like that's great. But I have these plans to like go to all of these countries in Switzerland and go travel a ton with Nick and girlfriends. And I didn't get to do any of it.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of a bummer, because I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to wait any longer to like start a family, you know? So yeah, I guess 20s like that, everything you said is so spot on. And then not wasting time with people who don't deserve you, like putting more into yourself, like more of that green juice and all of that. I worked my ass off in my 20s too. I had like 3 jobs. And I wish that I had just had a better core group of friends. Like I always needed that. Like I had one good friend in high school, and then she turned on me after high school. She like accused me of like sleeping with her baby daddy. And we were best friends since like 6th grade. It was so random. Came out of the woodwork in my early 20s and was like, I know you slept with him. And I was like, whoa, like I would never do something like that ever. And anyways. So anyways, I wish I had more memories from like high school and 20s of like traveling and doing like girls trips and stuff. But a lot of things that kept me from doing that is I'm kind of an introvert. Like I like to sleep in my own bed.
Yes.
I like to shit in my own toilet. Like I don't do well traveling and sharing rooms with people and stuff. I've just never been like that. So it's always prevented me from like doing like if anyone would be like, hey, like I got invited to go to the Madonna Inn one time for like a photo shoot, and I was like, what's the sleeping situation? I'm gonna have my own room. Like I need my own space. So I wish I'd done more traveling and stuff like that. And I worked a lot, so I don't know really what advice I have other than like, don't date the douchebag. Like treat yourself well.
Yeah. I wish I would have like spent less time like worrying about guys. Like,
Yeah.
every day, every time we went out, like, who's the guy? Where's the cutest one in the room? Or, you know, who am I dating? Who am I going to marry someday? It's like, just focus on your friends. Because, like, all those guys are in and out of your life, but your friends are the ones that are there.
Ready to get married anyway.
Right, exactly. So stop stressing about guys. Like, you'll get there and you will find the one and you'll get married, and just enjoy your friendships, I think, in your 20s, and like so into those relationships and your family.
I was literally just about to say your family.
That's one of the people who commented. This was like my favorite one. I was like reading through.
What did you guys ask real quick just for everyone?
Oh, let's see. What did we ask Jenna?
Hold on, let me say something really quick before I forget.
Okay.
What you were talking about going out with your friends and like focusing on guys and stuff. It just clicked. I think that's why I didn't like going out, is because I was so excited to go and hang out with a girl group, right? Girlfriends. But then they all were worried about guys.
Yeah.
And then like one would take off and then one would go with a guy. And then it's like, I'm just like sitting here like, cool. Cause I couldn't give a shit about guys. So I think that's the other thing. I just want stop. Don't worry about the guys. Just go out, sit there, have drinks with your girlfriends, and have fun. Don't worry about the dudes.
Yeah. So what we asked was, do you have any advice for your past self or for others? We also asked, what do you think of the generation before you? But I feel like most people commented like on the advice for your younger self, at least on mine. And someone wrote, spend more time with your dad. He matters more than anybody. And that one hit home for me because yeah, I mean, he matters more than anybody. I think a dad is such a special thing to most girls. You know, I didn't really have that growing up. But with that being said, is I spent so much time resenting the lack of relationship that I had with my dad, that I didn't get to enjoy him until I was a little bit older in my 20s, and I realized like he loves me the best he can. He has his own issues, but he loves me. And so once I was able to put that aside and like love him for who he was, then I was able to start to have more of a relationship with him. And I just feel like I spent so much time, you know, feeling sorry for myself that I couldn't be daddy's little girl, or that, you know, I didn't have that father figure in my life that everybody else seemed to have. And, you know, looking back, it's like, man, if I would have just like, the one thing I regret, my dad loved the Chargers, and I always wanted to go to a Chargers game with him, and I never got to do that. And I'm like, if I would have just like taken the money and been like, Dad, like we're going. If I would have, you know, just taken a weekend to like go see my dad, spend the night at his house, hang out with him more. Like, you know, you have those memories, and that's like, that's what's important at the end of the day. Not, you know, I'm sure I didn't want to do that at the time because I didn't want to spend the money, or I didn't want to take time away from whatever guy I was dating, you know, that doesn't matter at all in my life anymore. So
yeah,
I loved what someone said on advice.
The dad thing is important. I can relate to that too, because like I grew up not being close to my dad at all, because like all I saw my dad was is like he would just punish me. Like that was the role my dad played in my life. He didn't do anything with me. I don't remember having any conversations with him. I just heard from him when I was in trouble, basically. And now I swear, like I didn't talk to him for like a year when I moved out. And then shortly after that, I was camping with my dad and my stepmom and like enjoying my time with them, and like not hanging on to any of that shit from the past, because like I just genuinely know he did the best that he could do, and why hang on to it? Now I just enjoy my time. Like I love going out to see them. We go camping. We do all sorts of stuff. They love to try and get me drunk. Like they cook for me. And by they, I mean my stepmom. My dad doesn't cook for me. But we just have the best time. Yeah. And you know, and it's unfortunate because my sister, unfortunately, in her mid-20s has not let go of any of those things, like her daddy issues. And like we've had conversations about it, and she just won't let it go. And so she's stopping herself from having a relationship with him. And he is like visibly getting older. Like hanging out with my dad is like, holy shit, you literally like aged 20 years in the past 5 years. Like you seem very old to me.
How old are your parents?
They're in their early 60s.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I keep telling, my sister lives in Germany, and I'm just like, I just want to like impart on her, like, you're going to blink and they're going to be gone. So take advantage of it. Like have a relationship, like forgive dad for like whatever you think that he like didn't provide for you or do for you, and like get the fuck over yourself, because he wants to have a relationship with you, but he's like a guy. He's not going to like try and reach out to you. Like that's just not his thing. So I'm just really grateful that like my dad and I are like so much closer, and I was able to just kind of like, I didn't go to counseling or anything. I don't know. I just was like, I mean, granted, my childhood wasn't like horrible or anything, but you know, I just kind of was like, I'm enjoying this like season of our lives together. You know, this is great.
Okay, so to add on to that, one thing that I would tell my future self is do yourself a favor. Do your future self a favor, because guilt is the worst thing to live with. And I know I'm struggling with that right now. Like, I went through all the mom guilt, right, when I was younger, but now my parents are in their 70s. And I'm like in the middle of kind of doing my career and like, you know, pushing and doing all that. And my parents live 5 minutes down the street and I never see them. I mean, granted, I spent like a lot of time with them during COVID, but like every single day, it's like an inner battle, like to go over there and see them. And because
Life's too short, you don't get to do
I know,
over.
and I have so much to do and I'm so stressed out. So like I'm saying this to myself, like go make the time.
Yes.
Just do it. Like I know, but I'm trying to like relieve stress in the moment. So it's like relieve stress in the moment or relieve guilt for the future. So future self.
Yeah.
And that goes to say, like, I think everyone has that little voice inside their head where they're like, I should call this person or I should go see them, you know? And I feel like you should really listen to that because it may sound weird, but as it got closer, now that I know, like to when my dad passed, I kept having this, like, I should call my dad. I should go see him. And thankfully, it's a lot of times I did listen to that little voice, but I just, you know, I wish more so that I would have. So I would definitely say that to people. And holding on to anger and resentment is, I mean, I think everyone knows, like you hear this, like it only hurts you, you know, in the long run. And you just never know what's going to happen. And like it never makes your life any better. It just get over it however you need to, whether like the person doesn't need to know that you forgive them, but you need to be able to let it go and just move past it so that you can be in a better place. Like, I feel like that's something I would have said to myself when I was younger is like, just whether it was a friendship, my dad, brother, sister, whatever, like you're holding on to this anger, this resentment, or even if it's towards yourself, like forgive yourself, give people grace, give yourself grace, learn and just let it go. And like, life's too short for dumb stuff like that. Because half the time it is just dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think that's really, I definitely am realizing as I get older, like that, like family is the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Like I want to spend as much time as I can with them. I need to. I know my mom's watching. Love you, mom and dad. I know. She watches every single episode. Like shout out to my mom. Like fangirl.
go Jenna's mom.
My advice for myself right now and you guys, based on what you just said too, is like, I find myself just like having stuff to do like all the time.
All the
you
time.
know? And then the end of the day comes around and I'm like trying to figure out how to get out of dinner plans that I maybe made with someone.
All the
and
time.
it's like, honestly, like I need to just go do that because memories, what am I going to remember on my deathbed? I'm going to remember sitting there filming all this stuff and like all this like work stuff, or am I going to remember those different like dinners that I had with a girlfriend or taking myself to the movies or that trip? So yeah, I just like would like to spend less money on stuff and more money on like memories and time too. Yeah. Because I just get really busy and then I swear I haven't seen one of my friends for like 3 or 4 months and I'm just sitting here like I can't believe it's been so long since we've like hung out. Like this is crazy. So I don't know, life goes by very fast and you don't get a do-over. Yeah. So it's like if there's something that you're like putting off, like don't. Like just do it because you're gonna run out of time.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So what are some of the other things that people have said?
All right. Let's see what you guys said.
Yeah. I like this one. It said, if you're not married yet and you see red flags, that's not the person for you.
Amen.
Yeah.
Not change anybody. It doesn't get better once you do it. It gets worse.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Someone once said to me, if nothing changed about this person, nothing at all, for better, for worse, nothing changed, a year from now, would you still want to marry them? And I'm so glad she said that to me because the person that I was with at the time, I was like, oh, well, I like them, we have fun, but like I would want this, and this to change. And she's like, then that's when you know, like, that's not the person for you, you know, because there were those red flags. And I think sometimes, like, we're young, we're so kind of boy crazy. We're so fixated on, like, who are we going to marry? And I want to get married and be the bride and da-da-da and, you know, settle down, that we can, you know, kind of have this filter of, like,
we're not about, like, oh, geez, I almost, like, knocked it right in my face. It's going to be more about, like, looking for a best friend, I think, as opposed to, like, this marriage thing and, like, this whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, who do you want to be with and hang out with forever and share everything with?
Yep. Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, like, why does it have to have this, like, label of marriage? Like, it should be more like, do I want to be with that person forever? Not. I feel like a lot of people are hung up on, like, oh, I need to be married by a certain point, or all my friends are married and, like, have a ring and, like, whatever. And it's got to be more about, like, the relationship. Like, forget the piece of paper. I mean, being married is great. It's a great declaration, in my opinion, to show the world that you have, like, dedicated yourself to somebody, but, like, less about, like, oh, I want to be married. And it should be more like, I want to find my best friend. Which is why that Joe Millionaire show is just so funny. We should talk.
Oh my God, it's so
We
good.
didn't talk about that in the last
Oh
one,
my
did we?
gosh.
I love that show. I think it's great.
I'm loving it so far. It's something fresh other than just, like, The Bachelor and Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Oh my God, have you guys watched the new Bachelor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you cringing as much as I am?
I didn't see the newest episode.
So bad. I mean, it's
bad? Why?
It's television, but it's just like everything the girls say, and, like, I'm sorry, but, like, why do they cheers every time they bring in alcohol? Like, somebody brings
Wasn't
in
that on Joe Millionaire that they were doing that?
I don't know, but
They're a bunch
like,
of
I don't
woo
know, there's
girls.
Something yes, woo girls.
Woo.
I don't know if I'm
fit
getting
in with
older.
any of those people.
I've never been like
I was
that.
staring
Same.
at the TV like, what are are they 12?
Yes.
Okay.
I said the same thing.
Yes, when I was a cheerleader and we would go to cheer camp, I would walk there and be like, oh my God, I hate cheerleaders. And my mom would be like, you are a cheerleader. I'm like, I know, but they're so annoying. And I'm not like, woo, every 2 seconds.
I've never been
And
like
that's,
that.
I feel like the Joe Millionaire girls, they're like, woohoo. They're just a bunch of woo
They all
girls.
jumped in the 50-degree pool. I was like, that's what you don't do in your 30s. You're like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm going to sit over here and roast a fucking marshmallow. Like, what the childish, like, behavior is
That
really
actually looked kind of
interesting.
fun to me.
The water was 50 degrees.
I mean, I get what you're saying, but every now and then you got to, like, embrace your inner child and just have a little fun and let loose.
See,
Like,
I would jump in a freezing pool because it would be healthy. Like, you know, like you're supposed to go in cold water.
Oh, like the ice plunge.
That's
I
why
did
I
that
would
this
do it. I wouldn't
morning.
do it for fun.
I did an ice, like in the shower, like you turn it super cold and you're
I have done
freezing
that
your
before.
little
Okay,
balls
but
off.
like,
okay, sorry.
the girls in that show, do you think that they are ready for marriage? Because a lot of them, to me, seem like,
I think they're ready for a TV deal.
yeah. Honestly,
That's
I
why
just
they all go on it. I don't
Yeah.
know. Are we being mean girls? Are we being super judgy right now?
Well, we are judgy.
I'm sorry.
That's why we are the girls that aren't woo girls, because we're judging the woo girls. That's why we don't woo, because we don't want to be judged.
you know what though? I mean,
not my cup of tea. Those girls, I don't know.
yes, going on these shows, there is a slight chance that you might fall in love and get married and it might work out. It's a very slim chance. Only one girl wins in the end, and half of them don't even work out, you know? So really, any girl going on there is probably just trying to get on TV and
Well, they probably contractually have to be woo girls and like yell and scream. And, you know, like when you go to a show and you're in the, well, I haven't been to one, but
That's how
you're in the
casting
audience and they're
is.
like, applause now.
That's
I
how
will
casting
say
works.
this.
Right.
Andy and I were talking about it. I feel like there is a higher standard on The Bachelor than there
Yes.
is on Joe Millionaire.
Yes.
The budget is lower for sure.
Yes. Like the
But
girls
I think a lot
at
of the
least-
girls were pretty. On Joe Millionaire?
Really? I feel like a lot of them had way too much work done.
Oh,
I think they were
wait,
pretty.
Yeah,
There's a
okay, I
couple.
know what you're talking about. Yes, a lot of them had a lot of work done.
Girls
One of
on
them
The
in
Bachelor
particular,
are like so stupidly gorgeous. Which
and
one?
I feel like if her lips were just a little bit smaller, like
Oh, I know
but
exactly who you're talking
A
about.
I'm
little
like
bit
when
smaller?
I do
Yeah, half the
this, I'm
size.
like she's drop dead gorgeous, and she's like the most insecure one.
Yes.
yeah.
But her
Um,
lips
if-
don't need to be a little bit smaller.
Well,
They need to be.
as being nice.
Yeah, her lips
Sorry.
are really, really big.
There's a tip for like when you're younger, like just stop being so dang insecure because every woman is insecure and really you're beautiful and some guy is going to think you're beautiful and just,
And fake it till you make it if you're not.
yeah.
But yes, don't be so insecure. That's something that I feel like Like
It's not
deal with
just
that
women in
forever.
their 20s. It's just
No.
women in general. I mean, I could literally sit there and say it to myself. Like I was the other morning, you know when you like talk to your child as if you're like talking for yourself, I was like, okay, mommy needs to go work out so we're not fat anymore. And Andy looked at me, he goes, we are done with the F word in this house.
Yeah.
I thought it was so funny the way he said it. Like,
love that.
Stop calling yourself fat. You just had a child. Like, knock it off. And he's right. Like, we shouldn't talk to ourselves like that, you know? And we shouldn't talk about other women like that.
True.
So, sorry what I said about her
We're still
lips.
growing.
Sorry.
You can have an opinion though. Like, I don't know. I don't have any problem voicing the fact that I think her lips look a little ridiculous too. And that's okay. And I'm sure people think that like a lot of things about me look ridiculous as well. I mean, she's not going to hear it. So, but she is really pretty. I don't know. I just was watching that show and I just couldn't believe like the amount of childish drama. Like the one girl that just keeps crying.
Oh my
And all
God,
of them,
she
I'm
needs
just
to
like,
go.
you gotta go.
So, if you haven't
Yes.
watched Joe Millionaire, do yourself a favor. It's a good one.
There's only been 2 episodes so far. The next one comes out on the 20th.
Yeah.
But it's entertaining.
Yeah.
It's definitely entertaining, and they just seem very, very immature. And then the ones they also just seem so interested in his money and the things that they say. I'm just like,
It's so funny.
my
Like, they don't know
goodness.
which one has the money or not.
I got it right the first time. I totally thought the country boy had the money.
Oh, yeah. If you know anything about ranches and cattle, yeah.
How about the girl that knew who he was and got sent home? And
that
she
was
was like,
kinda
I think you're
sad.
doing
I
myself.
feel like they
you're
would have
doing-
been so cute together.
Yeah. I don't know.
I feel like that was kind of a bummer. That wasn't really fair for her. I feel like they could have had a conversation and been like,
don't tell
here's
anybody.
the situation. Yeah, you can't say anything. But then she knows. And to his defense, he's like, I want to find someone who doesn't know about my lifestyle.
That's
and
But
my
he
money.
follows her on Instagram, so he's obviously interested.
They connected on like some dating site already. So, yeah.
I
don't know.
feel like they should have gone on a date.
Just to see if anything was there.
Yes. And then he could like let her go.
Watch
if
him
it
like
end
end up with her in real life, like after the show.
I think he has a small wiener.
You heard that?
Why do you think that?
Okay, well, he made the comment,
gonna
well,
keep
like,
this one for
oh,
a
the
minute.
first time I'm getting in the pool in front of all these girls, it's like 50 degrees. But then the scene prior to that, my eyes were wandering. He was wearing these tight pants and he was like leaning forward kind of, and it looked like there was like nothing there. And I mean, granted,
Some
there
guys
are growers and not
some
showers.
yeah.
But like,
Give the
where
guy a
were his
break.
nuts? Like those, I'm
They don't
a ball
show
girl.
in your pants.
Oh, yes, they do. Well, my boyfriends do. They're huge. I'm always talking about Nick's junk in this.
Yes, you do. Last one, it was your twiddle, your TikTok. Now we're talking about
Nick
huevos.
Dick. Big Dick Nick.
Yeah, and then talking
BDN.
about double-handed. Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah, like balls. And they better be big enough where I can see them in your
likes
shorts.
them?
Wait, you like
Me. I love
I just
them.
missed
Oh,
that.
yeah. When we're watching TV, my hand just goes over here and I'm just playing with him the whole time. He's like, I have a dick too. And I'm like, I don't want that. I want to play with these.
oh
You need a
Lord.
fidget spinner.
Maybe you should get that for me for like, remember how you were saying you put like presents for your kids in like fidget spinner boxes?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, anyways, I feel like I'm always the most inappropriate person on this podcast,
That's why
but
we love you though. I love
I
you.
have no shame. I don't care. It's fine. And Nick doesn't seem to care either. I told him, I was like, yeah, I kind of like talked about your wiener on this show. And he was like, whatever. He doesn't
Yeah, I
care.
mean, yeah, you can't censor who you are. Like that would be weird, right?
That'd be a lot of work. That'd be a
yeah.
lot of work.
No, we don't want that. We want Kristen.
Yeah, there's certain things
Thanks,
I hold back for my husband just so I don't embarrass him too bad. Because Andy would be like, Brooklyn, like you talked about what, but you know. Okay, so
Should I
let's
read some of these?
So let's get back. Yeah, let's get back to like advice for our younger selves.
Okay, so this is some stuff that you guys sent in. I think we asked, what advice would you give your younger self or someone younger than you in the younger generation? And how do you feel about the generation before you? And any lessons that you've
Before
learned
you or after you?
before you. So like,
So for us, older.
yeah. So like for us, it would be Generation X. I don't know what I am. I think I'm a Zennial. I know that sounds really dumb, but like there's this thing
I'm a
called
millennial.
Zennial where it's like a millennial but a Generation X.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like on the cusp.
Okay.
So I identify with both in
Okay.
certain things. But anyway, what are you? You're millennial.
Millennial, yeah.
So this person just says communication is key to any successful relationship. Agree. Becoming painfully aware of your contribution to your situation.
What does that even mean?
So maybe that's like a lesson. So she's maybe looking back and thinking that she contributed to a problem when in the moment she was probably just busy
Pointing
defending
fingers.
herself. Yeah,
Yeah.
pointing fingers. So maybe
see
take a
that.
step back and assess things more clearly and don't just fire.
Yeah. Don't always just assume that you're the victim.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
Accountability.
Victim mentality is probably one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah.
If you've worked with me, you know that. Okay, so don't lose yourself trying to please everyone. You can't make everyone happy. Amen.
That's a big one. I feel like I still really struggle with that. I had
Yes.
a real conversation with someone recently, and she's like, "Why do you care?"
Yeah.
Talking about business stuff, and she's like, "Why do you care?" Like, Brooklyn, why do you care? Like, everything I do revolves. Is it too far? Is it too close?
It was just on the side of your face.
Oh, thanks. But yeah, everything revolves around just trying to please everyone else and caring what other people think, you know? And
Yeah, you just like lose yourself. Like I did that in high school. Like I got made fun of for like the car my parents drove and like the clothing I wore. I got one pair of new shoes every school year and that was it. And I got made fun of and I spent like a lot of time trying to like fix all this stuff about myself that I thought would make me get accepted by like the cool kids. And it didn't work.
No.
And so finally I was like, screw it. I'm just going to start focusing on what makes me happy because at the end of the day, you're just going to be like a shell of yourself if you don't invest in your own happiness because there's always going to be someone who doesn't like you.
yeah, and the ones that do, they're there. The ones that don't, okay, great, bye. Like,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And most of the people that you're friends with in high school, you will not be friends with later in life.
Yep, I'm still friends with one of them actually, but
I think I'm friends with
It's so
one.
funny.
I'm friends with more than one, but one I talk to
I don't have any
all
friends,
the time.
so
Yeah.
I have like two from high school. One we're kind of like off and on. We talk and then we don't, and then we talk and then we don't. But
wait, I'm interested though, Kristen. How did you like? Maybe we can get into this more later on. But how did you get started with YouTube or influencing?
I had
Like, how old were you?
So Instagram wasn't a thing yet.
Right, it was,
was-
MySpace, right?
Well, Facebook is really when I kind of started when I was in like music videos and stuff, and that's kind of when I started getting a following because I was on like the covers of a lot of tattoo magazines and things like that.
How did you get into that?
I just had tattoos and always wanted to model. I was signed with a modeling agency when I was little. And so I kind of did that in Hollywood and it kind of brought me to like the alternative world where people had piercings and tattoos
Got it.
and body modifications and stuff. So
When did you get your neck tattoo?
gosh, I got it when I was 23.
Okay.
And so my Facebook following grew
Yeah.
from the music videos and the tattoo modeling and stuff. And then people were like, oh, can you do like a YouTube video on like your makeup today? Like it looks so good. And so then I got on YouTube and that's
Got it.
kind of how it started.
And how old were you, do you think, when you started YouTube?
23,
Cool.
22, 23.
I just think that's interesting. Just,
Yeah.
you know, like, because sometimes people think they're too old to do things or start things, and sometimes people think they're too young. So, you know,
There's no like age that you have to be for any of that. Just
No.
do what you want to do when you want to do it. Like the world is your oyster.
yep, cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of to go off of that. One girl said what we were saying before. She said, who cares what others think about you? Stick to your guns and just be you. And then another person said, if you can see it in your mind, you can achieve it in your life. You know? So I think just kind of talking about like you said, like just going for it, like when you're
Yeah.
younger and just doing whatever it is. And if you fail, then you learn. Like failure, people see failure as a bad thing.
It's
It's
not.
It's not. You learn, you grow, and you get up and try it again, or you learn that you don't want to do it. So I think
Yeah, you have to try. And yeah, I don't believe in failure. I think it's more of a stepping stone of knowledge
Lessons.
and lessons that you learn and then you take with you the next time and you're smarter the next time you go to do something else. So
I wish when I was younger I would have like taken more risks. And I mean, And with that being said, I should still be saying that to myself now because I'm only 30. Like, I think, oh, I'm 30, but I'm only 30. Like, I could still
totally
take those risks and do stuff like that.
I literally like truly started my career when I was like 28. I mean,
that's okay.
most people, you know, but it's what you do with those years. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can start it when you're 48.
Exactly.
I mean, you really can just, don't let like your age or your situation or anything like that like stop you from doing things that you want to try out or do. Like they're like, this is your life and you get to do with it what you want. And who cares if someone's like, oh, you're going to start that now, you're too old. Like, who gives a shit what that person thinks? Like,
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other ones that you had on there, Jenna, that were good?
Let's see. This one says others' actions and feelings reflect them and them alone. They don't reflect you. That's
Bingo.
yeah. I mean, 99.9% yes.
Yeah, that's a really good one.
Don't lose yourself trying to please everyone. You can't make everyone happy. Oh, we already said that. Don't underestimate yourself. You will get further than you think. Don't take out that. Don't take out the student loan. They weren't worth it. That sucks.
That's pretty funny.
So she took out a student loan for maybe a boyfriend or a husband.
Probably to go to college.
Oh, I thought she meant
assuming.
they weren't worth it, meaning the
They.
loans.
Oh, yeah. I paid for my ex-husband to go to beauty school, so that's immediately where my brain went, and I had to pay it all off.
I feel
Yeah.
like
Oh,
maybe
no.
what she's saying, I feel like a lot of young people think that
They have to go to college.
Yep, that they have to go to college. And so for me, thankfully, my mom, I knew that I always wanted to do hair from when I was 12 years old. And I said to her, well, I want to go to college. And she's like, well, why? And I said, well, I want to be in a sorority and the cheer team and have that whole experience. My mom's like, Brooklyn, that's not why you go to college. You don't spend thousands and thousands of dollars and go into debt just to have this experience. And yes, I do think that people really discover themselves and have these amazing experiences while they're in college. There's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people go just to go and they don't know what they want to do. And then they get this degree that they never use. Like, I could probably name 10 people off the top of my head who are paying thousands of dollars, you know, from student loans, and they got a degree that they don't even use in their career,
My
in their
ex-husband is
field.
one of those people. He spent 40 grand going to like, was it Pepperdine or
Oh gosh,
by
that's expensive.
Malibu over there
Yeah.
and for psychology, and he was still paying it when we were married, and every time he would make a payment I was just like, that's something we could be doing, not just paying for something you told because he just went to party.
Yeah.
And he didn't, I mean, he's super smart, like he knows a lot about it or whatever, but he doesn't use it.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
college is roughly around $20,000 to $40,000 a year.
If
So
not more,
we're
yeah.
talking about experiences, and yes, college is an experience, but like you could take that 40,000, go on like 4 years of vacations, and figure out who you are and what you want.
Oh, you're so much better off doing that. I
Yeah.
think. I dropped out of high school, so I mean,
Unless you know what you want to do. Like,
Yeah.
if you know what you want to do and it's a career that you need an that degree in, then yes. But like, if you're going just to figure out what you want to do,
Yeah, the most successful people I know are the ones that didn't go to college.
yep.
And the most successful
graduate from high
people
school.
in my family are the ones that didn't go to college.
Yeah.
You know,
But don't drop out of high school.
well,
dropped
maybe
out
don't
of
drop
high
out of high school, but
I'm saying that more because I have kids in high school.
yeah, I would recommend going through high school because I was just thinking to myself, I'm like, oh, I kind of want to go to school to like become a vet tech so I know more about my animals and all that. And I would have to have my GED and I don't.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I could pass the test right now because I'm horrible at math. I'm horrible at science. Like I could pretty much spell anything and I'm good with English. But other
spell
than
anything.
that, I don't know if I could pass. Nick was really cute. He's like, oh, I'll help you like prepare and like I'm really good at that and I can help you teach you and stuff. I was like, that's so cute. But
why? Who needs it though?
I don't know if I wanted to do that, I couldn't, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't think you should have to have a GED to do that though. Like I am
know.
capable of becoming a vet tech without having a GED. Like I have full confidence in myself that I could do that.
Yeah. Most people just cheat their way through high school too.
Yeah, like I don't need to know that math equation. I got a calculator for that.
Yeah, who
Like,
cares about geometry? I'm sorry,
Right?
but
Nobody
like,
gives a fuck.
really?
And like chemistry, it's like I think that should be a college thing. Like,
Right.
don't
I
need to
agree. You
know-
don't need that.
Yeah. Same
There's
with math.
so many other things that we should be learning in high school.
Balancing checkbooks.
Like I was gonna say
or
finances, taxes,
writing a check.
Yeah, writing a check.
How to show up to interviews.
There you go.
Yeah, totally.
Self-development, critical thinking skills.
Self-awareness.
We should be like
Just start our own
teachers.
school.
Yeah,
Let's start our own school.
Let's do it.
So at some point, it stopped recording, and we don't know when that was. So that's why it kind of just faded from that clip to this clip. So I guess we'll just wrap it up.
Yeah.
What advice do you guys have for, people in their 20s, people in their 30s, depending on your age and your life experiences? We'd love to hear. Drop it in the comments below. And what do you think about the generation after you?
After or before, right? Before or after you?
Yeah, before or after. I mean,
Yeah. And somebody tell me, what am I expecting in my 40s?
yeah. And yeah, what about the rest of the 30s and 40s? I'd love to hear.
Yeah, and what's maybe like the best piece of advice that you ever learned like so far in your life, Because I feel like it'd be fun for them to go through and read the comments and like gain some wisdom from other people, You don't always have to learn mistakes on your own. You can learn from other people. That's called wisdom, right?
Yeah, totally agree.
So sorry about our technical mishap, but we will get better next time.
We'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye guys.